But last time all I had to do was just put it in Figma. Then good, easy, easy. I wish my projects were also this easy to cram. But hopefully you won't it won't seem like that when I'm teaching this because I'm sure you guys will learn all of this topic. All right, 8:03. Let's start. So the workshop agenda today, I'll basically be showing you guys the basics of visual design. So this will be brought a lot from art, if you took art appreciation and stuff. But then I'll be connecting this to product design, and we'll be doing stuff like which is the better interface, and you'll even do an activity in Figma. So yeah, I'm so excited for that. Ooh. All right, so let's first start with the elements. So these are basically the building blocks of visual design. These are what you play around with. Without these elements, you really won't have anything to build or make. So the first element is the most basic. This is the line. It can basically be defined as a stroke connecting two points. And there are actually two types of lines. There are actual lines, which are the lines you see like when you write or draw them. And there are implied lines, which are invisible, but they are parang implied by other objects. I'll show you an example later. And these lines can vary based on different properties, like what direction they're going, how thick they are, what shape they make, and how they look. So kung geometric, ibig sabihin yun, it's based more on shapes like squares or triangles. But if it's organic, there's like really no structure to it. You just draw like whatever you want. So how such a simple element can vary in so many ways. So how can we see this in product design? This is an example of one website I've been stalking. As you can see here, they use actual lines to guide the users as they go down the landing page. Both the red dashes here and the green lines here. And it's a variation of curve, dashes, and different colors also. So I really like this because it makes use of parang how we read the screen. So diba, we usually read from left to right. That's kind of how implied lines is the way that we're playing with as designers. But they really took that to a step further by providing an actual basis for the user to read through. So yeah, those are the boundaries we have. Those are the guidelines we have to play with as a designer. Another example, this is the Spotify interface, and even though you don't really see it, these are implied lines at work. Parang they help divide like each song. Even though we don't see lines there, we can tell like this one song, this isn't another song because of how the spacing, the colors make up that illusion of a line. So yes, this helps a lot in how users understand information. Like without this kind of division, it'll be like one whole big mess. Okay, so the next element. So I talked about lines, and now we are to spacing. Oh, shape pala, yes. So these are basically self-contained areas, and they're what you get when you put lines together, and they're 2D, and they vary from length and width. Oh, they all come in different types. Wow. So how is this seen in product design? As you can see to the left, this is you can see circles of the buttons here, rectangles for the fields. Everything actually is made up of a shape, like even the profile picture here. Also, and to the right, you can see how triangles are used in the drop down arrow, the parang V, and also what people call a tool tip. That's the thing below the V. So if you actually break down these interfaces, like every single part is made up of a shape. This also applies to icon design. Um, a big guideline in icon design, especially for brand logos, is that it's good to make it geometric. So it's like more systematic, easier to reproduce. So an example of the Twitter logo, even though it looks like just a really well drawn bird, it looks so cleanly drawn because it's actually made of so many circles. So yeah, it's amazing how such a simple element can make such complex and beautiful things. So we have line, we have shape. Next, we have space, the area around, above, below, etc., and object. And there are two kinds of space. The positive kind of space is actually a shape, while the negative, which we'll be mostly focusing on, is the area around that shape. So keep in mind, whenever you make a shape, you simultaneously make the space around it. So something to keep in mind lang. So how can this be seen? Um, if you code websites with HTML, CSS, you may know of what is called the box model, as you can see here. And space is always considered when you're developing these websites. You always have to consider like padding, the space around the content, and the margin, parang like the space um outside that content. I see padding is like the inner space, and then margin is like the outer space. This model like really visualizes it so well. Another example of how this space is applied is what is called the M box in typography. It's basically the individual like box around a certain glyph, as you can see here, like parang one letter. And even though it's like just like one box lang, it's really compromised with like different parts, like this baseline space here on the letter and line height also. So the more the line height is, the bigger the space around it. So how can this build up to more complex interfaces? One like great use of space. My favorite interface is the Medium website. Like the way they design space makes search for a pleasurable reading experience. Like I read on like Twitter or another interview before that the line height was like parang altered specifically. They didn't just use like a basic line height measurement. And yeah, because of that, like they really pioneered like this reading experience on the web, this use of white space. Mhm. So we have line, shape, space, and the next value. It's basically the relative lightness or darkness of an object. Technical rule, like the more dark an object or artifact is, the more like clear it is to the user, and vice versa. Like the lighter it is, the less halata it will be to them. So how is this applied? We can see this in like different states of buttons. When something is enabled or active, that button is like more obvious or halata to the user. When it's disabled or not active, you notice that it becomes more subtle. And that's because as you can see here, the value are like lighter, less compared to the active button. So that's how value can be used in designing interfaces. So we have line, shape, space, value, and then color. Color has different uses. First, it helps you like convey emotion in an interface. So for instance, if you're designing for a mental health product, you want to use calming colors like blue or green, and also helps with separation. So if you remember the Spotify UI from earlier, it helped make up those implied lines because of a different color from the dark background and then the lighter selected song. And finally, it helps in like differentiating your product. So if you're like a brand trying to stand out and then you notice that oh, all the websites are using blue, you gotta use like another color. So people associate that color with your brand. Mhm. So how is this applied? Give me a moment here. Why is it not clicking? Just to note, in digital design, we make use of the RGB color system, and that means that colors when added uh, are added together. So when you add red and other colors, it makes up white compared to print, where it parang subtract color, get black as the result. So how is this applied? Um, Usually a beginner mistake I see when people design interfaces is that they just use a color generator. It gives them like 4 to 5 colors and then they'll use it for their design. That's great when you're doing art, but the problem is when it comes to interfaces, you use more colors than you think. Because see here, if you use only 4 to 5 colors, it will really look like an eyesore. You really need more of that balance. So as you can see here to the right, we have like 10 plus. So how can you make a color palette specifically for product design? The most important is grays because these colors make up most of an interface from the text you read to the forms you fill out and so on and so forth. And don't be shocked, you actually need 8 to 10 of these, even if it doesn't seem like. So, as one example, if you can see to the picture above, even if the colors look mostly the same, there are actually like 5 different colors being used. Amazing. And then, like, the more complex your UI gets, the more colors you will need. Mhm. Another tip for those beginning in product design, do not use a true black, which is the hex code of that is 000. It will really look glaring to the eye. It's better to use a dark gray or a dark color like a dark blue or a dark brown instead in your UI. So we have grays. The next part of your color palette is the primary colors. So these make up your navigation elements, your primary actions, and so on and so forth. Like you can see here, these main buttons, like continue, so on and so forth. And these are also like the brand color of your site. It's why Facebook is seen as blue, even though it's mostly made up of gray colors because of how primary the color blue is there. And also, you need a lot of shades. You need at least 5 to 10. Mhm. And after those primary colors, the final part of the color palette is accent colors. And these are used very sparingly, but they're important for communicating things. Like if you want to do a destructive action, which is red, if you're warning the user, which is yellow, or if you're doing a positive trend, like green. And you also need 5 to 10 shades for this. So as you can see here, even though it's technically one color, the different shades are used to make up the function of the UI. So those are our 3 parts of our color palette. We have grays, we have primary colors, and we have accent colors. So this is an example of my Twitter feed. Um, as you can see here, it's mostly grays. This the black tweet, the grayish like replies, and also the main color, which is blue, is prominent in the actions, in the links, and even the logo. And you can see here the accent colors as well, like in the retweet button, the like button, and more. So yeah, overall, a good color palette just gives a very balanced UI, which is very usable for the user. So we have line, shape, space, value, color, and we have volume. So this is mostly for portraying like 3D visuals, which are implied since we work within a 2D space as designers. I'll be mostly focusing on the dimension of depth here. So what do I mean by depth? It's like the 3D part of a visual. Like if you see this 3D triangle here, it's like the I don't know how to explain. But why do we need to make use of volume in visual design? When flat design got popular, there was the problem of signifiers. So signifiers are important to users because they signify like what can be touched or what cannot be touched. Before, it was easy to distinguish which was touchable and which was not. But when everything became flat, users didn't really know what to click because like everything seemed like a link in flat design, which is why volume started being introduced. So this is an example of material UI. They make very good use of volume here. So the shadows they use here indicate like, oh, what is pressable to the user and so on and so forth. Without these shadows, important functions like the button would blend into the background to make the interface very unusable. So how can you create depth in your interface? The main rule you should consider is that you should emulate natural light comes from above, diba? Um, there are parang two ways of portraying this. You can do it in a raised way, as you can see in this top picture, where like the light is up here, like the shadows in like the bottom, and it because of this, it seems more elevated to the user. Another kind of depth you can indicate is inset. So it looks more in, it looks farther away from the user and more embedded within the UI. And the top edge is lighter here, as for example, you can see this in the form UI. It looks farther away because of how the box shadow is put. Yeah. So both raise and inset, they give a more 3D feel to your interface. Elevation too. So there's this property known as blur radius. It's like the shadow behind an element. The smaller it is, it looks slightly raised lang, like this raised button here. But if it's larger, it looks closer to the user, as you can see here. Um, Compare 2 dp versus 24 dp, which looks closer. Of course, the 24 dp. And this helps a lot with interaction if you're designing interaction. Like for instance, if you're pushing a button, um, when the user pushes it, like the blur radius gets smaller because it's like the button is stuck into the interface. So yeah, that's how volume helps like make design more visible and interactive. Another way we can make use of this 3D is overlapping elements. If you can see here in this page, the main action, the addresses is overlapped with like the blue and white background. Because of that, it looks more, how do I say this? Textured. Yeah, it looks less boring. And another way you can actually indicate that kind of depth is through color. So like the lighter a color is, it looks like, yeah, like farther away. Because again, if you consider go back to value, like the lighter a value is, the more subtle it is to the user, the more unseeable. So the same applies here to depth. One example of a volume is this old UI trend, skeuomorphism. That's a trend where UI emulated like real life objects like calculator, for instance, so that it was easier to use for users because they borrowed those mental models from real life into the UI. But as people got more used to using technology, they started transitioning to flat because everyone knew how to use a phone now. They didn't need those signifiers. So the last element I'll be talking about is texture. It's the surface quality of an element, how it how we assume it feels to us. And this is also implied because we work within a 2D space. So one example of this is skeuomorphism again. Another way designers made the UI feel real to the users was the use of texture. As you can see here in this start screen by Apple, it looks very, how do I say this, leathery. And because that it brings more character to the UI. So we have all those elements. Those are like the Lego blocks of our design. But we need principles as well. Those are like the blueprints, the Lego instructions we follow to know how to use them together. All right. So our first principle is unity. This is the harmony between all elements. So if you can see in this example here, the center alignment is used to make the text and the picture feel aligned. And if they have different alignment, they are not very united. However, it's important to balance this because if everything looks the same, the user will get like really bored. And we always want to have that moment of delight for a user. So make sure to balance that unity and variety. So how do people do this? Design systems are a very good example of unity. They help make a whole design look cohesive. So the left design system for typography, to the right design system for grids. Without design systems, designers will have a harder time making their interfaces like feel very cohesive together. But thanks to these set of guidelines, it's easier to do such. Now we have unity. Now we have this principle called gestalt. This is basically our tendency as people to perceive the sum of all parts. Like we see things as a group instead of like their own thing. So for example, in this top image, even though they're technically just like dashed lines, we see them as shapes now, as a square, circle, rectangle. That's gestalt at work. This is important for readability. If you think of my Medium article earlier, it made use of spacing to make sure there's a distinction between different paragraphs. And without that, it would be very hard to read. So how can we see gestalt at work? Oh, okay. These are also different gestalt principles based on psychology. We have the law of closure, which means the closer elements are to each other, the more likely we are to see them as a group. The law of common region, figure ground, which means we tend to think of figures already, even though like they're not like really made. Like for instance, we see faces from the negative space of a silhouette. And finally, the law of proximity. Okay, this is an example of my Facebook UI. You were seeing a lot of my UI today. So the way I see gestalt being used here, first consider the like different reactions because they're all bundled together. I assume they're one group already. Like, oh, these are all reactions. But where else can I see this? To the left, you see around the different functions of Facebook. Pages, friends, etc. Shortcuts of another group. Where else? Up to the top, the nav bar, the different icons, and so on and so forth. Overall, having these different groups helps make up the interface of a user. Without these groups, everything would be scattered. People wouldn't know where to start. So we have unity, we have gestalt, we have hierarchy. This shows the difference in importance of the elements of a design, and this can be shown through color, font, style, etc. So how is hierarchy used? We can use it in highlighting actions like a primary button or headings of large fonts here. Here you can see the design. As the bigger the text, the more important it is, and so on and so forth. Again, here's another example of medium, which makes a very good use of hierarchy. The heading here is the title of the article. It immediately tells the user what the article is all about. And then the subheader under, of course, which is less important than the title, giving more detail. And then after that, you have the body text below it, starting on the article, so on and so forth. If the article were like formatted the same, like the title and the body text would have the same format, again, it would be very confusing to comprehend for the user. So the next principle we have is balance. This is basically the even distribution of all elements. So if elements are balanced, it can help convey a sense of calm, stability, and if it's imbalanced, it can feel very unstable to the user. So yes, just use this with caution. Symmetrical, asymmetrical. There are different kinds of balance too. Symmetrical to the top left, asymmetrical to the top right, radial where everything is centered around one element, and a mosaic where there's this kind of chaos, but it seems to all come together, like how a real life mosaic has different pieces, but seems to all come together. So I'll show you examples of how these different types of balance are visualized. So an example of the stack landing page. Symmetrical balance is used here. Three columns and they're all like center aligned pa, versus the asymmetrical balance here. This picture, the picture to the right is obviously more dominant to the left, but somehow they are balanced together. Here's an example again from Sing Life of radial balance, because all the elements here from the heading to the other testimonials, they seem to be centered around the main testimonial or phone in the center of the screen. And here's an example of mosaic balance. This is the Onion website. Even though it looks like there's so much around, so much information, it all seems to come together. So usually symmetrical and asymmetrical balance is the most common type of balance in web design. So radial and mosaic are less known. But again, those are just best practices. Don't see them as like ironclad rules. So the next principle we have is contrast. This is basically how different an element is from its surroundings. And you can make an element feel more different by altering color, value, size, etc. So as you can see to the right, the black color has more contrast to white background. It's more clear or easy to read. So remember, that's how value works. The darker the element, the more clear was the user, and vice versa. Like the lighter it has less contrast, therefore harder to comprehend. This is very important, especially designing accessible websites. So as designers, we need to create accessible websites so that all users, no matter what like disability they have, are able to use the product. So we aim for high contrast. You can see in the top right that this has a very high contrast, which makes it more readable. Compared to the bottom, the colors have low contrast, which makes them not as readable. So if you had like a color blindness problem, you might not be even able to read it as well as top. So how can we see this? An example of this again, the red, the destructive button here has a very high contrast. And because of that, it helps get the attention of the user in comparison to the other elements, which are like the text, so on and so forth. Our next principle is scale, and this can help emphasize an element. As you can see at the right, the size helps, the scale of the circle helps make it more halata and also help create a sense of depth and hierarchy too. This is an example of a landing page website because landing pages usually follow the same format in order to sell the user something. So there's always one big headline that takes your attention. That's how scale is worked. And the less important details, supporting details like descriptions, so on and so forth, they have a smaller scale. So yes, with a good use of scale helps you create a good hierarchy for your product. And the last principle I have for everyone is dominance. So this is when a single element has focus. And again, you can use different elements like color, shape, and more to achieve this dominance. But make sure that the principles of unity or balance are still kept in mind when you do this. So one good example of how dominance is used is the use of hero illustration. This is an example from Caliber's landing page. When you first open it, the hero illustration catches your attention agad because of the color and the size also. And because of that, the user immediately has an impression of, oh, this is a friendly startup, good for those who want to get jobs. And that's exactly the impression that Caliber wants to give you as a new user. All right, so we've learned the elements and the principles, and now we're going to see it applied. So our first activity, the game, I'll be showing you two screens compared, and then I will ask you guys which is the more correct interface. Are you guys ready? Don't worry, no pressure. Fun. Yay, thank you, Mello. All right, let's start with our first comparison. Yay. Oh my. Move, Figma, please. All right, which is the more correct interface here? A or B? And explain why. I'd love to see how you guys make use of elements and principles. Wow, we have a lot of smart people here. Yes, the correct answer is B. Does anyone want to explain why, or do I need to assist? Okay. I will explain in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, balance, harmony. Interesting, interesting. So yes, the correct answer is B actually. And this makes use of like reading direction because when we read it, we immediately like go down. When you're scrolling on your phone, also you really want the primary action to be easy to reach, and you have to like go back up, like your conversion rate or like the button will be touch is going to be less. So make it easy for your user to press by doing it their way. Yee, nice. All right, next one. Which is better, A or B? Wow, we have so many hype students, so many answers. Ooh, B because hierarchy. Yes, you are correct, Bea. Labels are always secondary because the primary thing you're just looking for is the information. Like I have a Fitbit here right now, and I don't even need like the label, like, oh, this is the number of calories you're doing. They just give me the number. That's what's the most important. Same here applies. So again, remember when you're doing the design the hierarchy of your products, make sure you think of, oh, what is most important to my user. All right, round 3. A or B? Oh, we have a lot of differing answers. Oh, never mind. Mostly A's or B's. I wonder what's the correct answer. Let's see. It's an A. Can someone tell me why this is the better one? Yes, nice one, Franz. Nice one, Mello. Nice one, Jillian. True, true, true. The contrast is more makes the product, the design more readable. And also like balance as well. Like look at big like green, yellow, and red are all like demanding for your attention. Compared to the right, the text is really what stands out to the user, and the background is lighter, so it's easier on the eyes. Nice one. Everyone's learning so much. I'm so proud. Okay, four round. A or B? Wow. Yes, correct. And why is it B? Yes, you're correct, Gabby. It's a B. What exactly about the shades of gray? Nice one, Bea. I'd love to learn more answers. Why is it B? Yes, correct, Johnson. In the left, kasi the icons like they also demand for your attention. So the interface doesn't look as balanced. It looks very heavy on that side. In comparison to the right, since the icons are less important, they give center stage to the text, the functions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's also Beth. They all look like they're clickable. Mm-hmm. And the last one, A or B? Easy to, right? Or not so easy? Oh, we have a lot of differing answers here. I wonder what is the true answer. Surprisingly, it is B actually, because there are other ways of indicating hierarchy. Like you don't need to use so many colors. Like think about it, like in the left again, like there are so many colors demanding for your attention, so that the user doesn't know like what's most important. Like, oh, do they want me to publish or delete? But compared to the right, they make a good use of hierarchy here. You can see that the main action is publish, the second action is edit, and then the territory action, which is like parang like a link lang, is delete. Mhm. So yes, remember as designers, you indicate to the user like how much like what you guide, you're their guide. So make sure they know what to do with your design. Okay. All right. Figma activity. Yay. So go to this bit.ly UXUI Foundations. Passes, please send this link to the Zoom. And then there's an activity page there. Then please a screenshot of your favorite website, and then we'll comment on it. I will go to that right now. Give me a moment. I cannot wait to see how everyone makes use of that. Can someone send the slide? Thank you. Bit.ly UXUI Foundations. If anyone's a noob to Figma, don't worry. We have Fassies here to help you out. Okay, this activity page here, guys, this black one. So what you do, just screenshot, then you just paste. Control V in Windows or paste. Yes, like this. This is mine. And then you see the speech bubble here? That's the comment tool. Then you just place it on the parts where you think elements are seen, and then you explain why. I will comment here. Line. Actual lines. Yes. I guess we can give like 8:42. Wow. It's so fast. Like 30 minutes. Yeah. We'll also be discussing this too. So yay. Good luck, everyone. Or if you want your comment to be seen, you can also like put text too, which I love about Figma. Line. Wait, I think I should be. Let me get my phone. Okay, so for everyone, again, reiteration, go to this page, bit.ly/UXUI Foundations, then screenshot your favorite website, and then comment on how elements and principles are used. I will type the instructions here. My bad. Screenshot your favorite website. Comment on how elements and principles are used. Cool, cool. Okay. One. I hope those instructions are clear. If anyone doesn't know how to use Figma, please hit me up. I will be commenting on my Figma, on my screenshot here too. Um, just icon. Cool. I will play music. Where is everyone else's website? Ooh, whose website is this? This is so cute. Whether about how to use Figma or the visual design principles, you may just chat me up or anyone else up. Cool, cool. Valorant. Yes. Yes, gamers. Gamers rise. Isabel, I love how you're using background colors pa instead of me. You're putting more effort in making it nice. I am grateful for your effort. Oh, it's 8:50 na. Okay. I will start asking people. The first screenshot here. Wait. Who put this? The sound of colleagues. Are you willing to explain how elements and principles are being used? Hello, are you there? If not, I will try to talk for you. But I don't know what you put there. How about to the audience? How do you think the elements and principles are being used in this Sounds of Colleagues website? For me, I see radial balance around. All the different filters are surrounding the one hero illustration here. It's so aesthetically pleasing. Any other ideas? Guys, talk with your mouth or your keyboard, not your cursor. Okay. Next. Who pasted this? Who put UX up? Thank you, Juliana, for your input. I love Gmail. Gmail superior. I will read the answers here. Good use of value and depth to make it eye-catching and captures the branding of the org really well. True, true. I'm so proud of the UX Talk website team. I am in all of this website. Yeah, division of each content. Just talk here at work. Like one section is for who we are, another is what we do. Symmetrical balance here as well. Thank you for the anonymous person who put this. I will come back to this later. Type wall. Does anyone want to explain this? Or am I going to read your work? I will read your work. You can see how they cleanly divide. Yes, actual lines to create groups. So pleasing. Yes, yes. Symmetrical balance. The even numbers. So good, so good. I love this. Yes. Typographic hierarchy. For typography website, they do it so well. Like header font, body font, links. So much thought went into making this website. It's so good. Ooh. I will wait for you to finish typing. Who else is putting? Oh wow, so many. This makes me so happy. So many websites. Who is done? Everyone's still doing their work. Parang everyone's rushing their work. Fine, I'll give you guys until 9. But I will stop everyone's work here. Oh, there are comments pala also. I wonder what the comments are. Ooh, okay, from Mig. Glyph World. This is a website for aesthetic fonts. I'll go to Glyph World. Wait lang. This really cool one. Yes, yes, yes. The landing page shows them all really nicely. I agree, I agree. The giant ball. Really good use of dominance here. Really catches your attention talaga. See the one on top. You click anywhere. Get to the, yeah. This is a really good call to action. Mm. Naka-underline yan, pero may cursor mo ulit, so nag-green. Yeah, it's an active link. Yeah, so the use of color here helps signify that it was an active link. Simple and pretty. I will look at this website later. Thank you for recommending this to me, Meg. Who else? Yes, Ruth. Glossier. Did I pronounce it right? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wish I had more Glossier. Milk. We have a lot of beauty fans here. I agree. What is this? What is this table thing? Whoa! What is this? Is this a drone? Landing pages of good photography are so good. Amazing. I'll 3 more minutes before I call people again. Pressure, pressure. Shout out to Mafia daw. Ang gagaling nyo. I love you all. Deserve. I'm so proud of Mafia. For those who can't edit right now because there's an editor limit, you can do this in your own time. It's a really good exercise for practicing visual design. When you're made more conscious of how design is used in the everyday things, that's in your digital and physical surroundings, you'll become a more self-aware designer. Hooray for self-studying. 2 more minutes. OMG, even more screenshots. I'm so excited. I will stock. Yep, Isis. I can't wait to see how that will work. Stay strong, Andy. The lag is also strong for me. Daming tao. There more? Which website is this? Oh my gosh. Uber, this minimalism. I love. Oh, this isn't Kali, but I think I should stream her later. This is. What's my favorite Kali? Ooh, latest single. One more minute. Oh, it's 9 already. Or should I give everyone more time? I will go back to the beginners first. The UX Talk website. Are you done now? I will read more of the comments. Yes. Nice lines. The nav bar here, it's still readable-ish. The colors too, yeah. Even though there's several colors, they all really go well together. Because there's more than one color here used. The gray, all these accents, primary colors, mainly blue. Yes, I'm still proud of you, Xbox. What else did I not go to yet? I will go to Isabel Lim's website. Yes, yes. So many comments. I am so amazed. Weight of, yeah, the call to action like really catches your attention. Mhm. And it prompts them too. So like you have to think less about like what you're, oh, like they already know like, oh, I want to search now. Cool. Contrast too, yes. The red really catches the attention also. That's why red is a very popular notice color. As you can see here in my Figma too, they use red. Scale really helps in the hierarchy. They put the black overlay to make the more readable, bright green again, primary color, contrast between static. Yeah, that helps suggest out also. You know, it's a different group na agad. Symmetry here, very balanced. Nice one, Isabel. I really like how you analyze this so in depth. This one from Mello, who analyzed the Valorant. Landing page uses dominance. Yeah, yeah, the main color of red. Very gamer vibe na agad kasi the dark UI too. True, true. Different groups. Shock. Yeah, this really catches the attention talaga. So simple but so good. Does anyone else want to explain their work like in VC or in text? Don't be shy. I won't roast you. Maybe just because everyone likes my music. That's why they don't want to talk. They like my voice also. It's okay. I will read your comments na lang. Who put this? I do not know who put this, but I will look at this. Thank you for reminiscing. Yeah, the contrast in space too. Like there's so much white space, and that simplicity, chef's kiss. Dark, light, the join button. Yeah, it's really more clear. With the high contrast, symmetry here, own group. Yes, nice one, nice one. This is the Apple website. Yeah, they didn't use a bright white, which is good. So it's more pleasing to the eye. The hierarchy. The main product name is emphasized and the details go lesser, but overall they come together as a description of the product here. Value here also, the CTA button is highlighted well because of the contrast. Yeah, dominance, this whole screen makes music like, oh my gosh, it's an iMac. I feel that I can brave while browsing to the website. True, this is me also. I feel like I'm like, it's like a breath of fresh air. That's how I describe the Apple website. While other websites like feel so tight when they have like less space, it just shows how much design has an impact on users. Where else? Where else? Wow, damn. Milk. Who put this? Thank you for the cute purple descriptions. Contrast and dominance. Yes, yes. Especially of the black and white. It's very high contrast, which is really more readable. And the colors too, that helps. Because it's mostly black and white. The products stand out here. Asymmetrical balance too. Just off of the toolbar. Because the different links have their own group. Nice one, nice one. Where else? Any more comments? Who else seems done? I will read your work because you should be proud of your work because that's how much you learn. Undraw, yes. Summary, it looks clean. The icons are easily contrasted and unified. True, true, true. Yeah, because it's easy for websites with so many visuals to look really cluttered because of the use of like space and they all like go together into one group. There's like less information overload. Mhm. Nice, nice. And the primary color here too. It's like parang unites all the illustrations together. Yes, ma'am press. I love this is a web flow. Info hierarchy. Yes. True, true, true. Dominance for the hero image. This is so good na. Like it already like gives you like a brief overview of the product already, which is good for a landing page. That's what it's supposed to do. Yes. Balance too. I guess I'll give everyone pa until 9:15. Then I guess we can move on into Q and A. Unless you all want to work on this more. I see you all putting so much effort into this. That makes me so happy. I will read your work, Jillian, while you're working on it. No pressure. I like your feed too. I don't know what to call it aesthetic, but I vibe. Black background of home button. Yes, the active button here. Yes, the photos look like they can breathe because of the space. Good and simple balance of the website. Yeah, I think this is like music balance at work because it's all like cluttered first, but there's some reason it looks like good together. Yeah. Straight to the point of what the message is all about. Yeah, it really tells you it's all about pins. Who else did I not look at yet? Ooh, what a long paragraph. I wonder who's writing that. Are you still writing that? Hmm. Uber. There's clear unity and balance in the way the buttons below the header. These buttons here, the different products, different functions. They know where to go and what to do. Good use of icons as well. Yeah, really good at communicating that. Balance and emphasis. We can see the hierarchy here in the hero section, black and white. Yes, polish. That's the one example of how colors can parang convey personality. With Uber, did you know like dead serious? Yeah, not too kalat. Nice one, nice one. What's this website? Oh wow. Peruse, investigate. I love this. Like, kahit it's mostly grays, it looks so clean and good. And I love how they use the primary color of red here to catch your attention, which is to the name. Nice one too. The hierarchy also. Club Penguin. I miss. Who here is still playing Club Penguin? I'd love to know if it's still the same, if it's improved. Let me know your thoughts. Who else did I miss out on? Oh, there's a comment here also. What is the Joan website? Oh no, the lag. What's this called? Basta I'll call it M3. And super clean, easy to see product offerings. Yes, the dominant here. Two, minimalist navigation bar, good contrast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Especially the store, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to go to the store because like the blue stands out like almost annoyingly from most of the beige. Important details like product name is at a larger size. True, true, true. It's hierarchy at work. Scale also. Store button stands out. Yes, yes. Nice one, everyone. Everyone's learning so much. I'm so proud of everyone. Even if you didn't like comment or put your screenshot. I hope everyone is learning from everyone else's output. Jana, this is so cute. Dominant illustration. Club Penguin World. Yeah, like look at the whole screen and immediately it tells you, oh, we're all about penguins. We're all about we're for kids talaga. They were cool before product design was cool, you know. Subtle icons. Agree, agree. Because if they were like black, I get so annoyed. Like, okay, sorry, you become really petty as a designer. Is there comments for Glossier? I'm waiting. I wanna like break down this website. Parang Club Penguin is a good bonding experience, no? We'll put design resources also. Okay, since no one commented, I will comment on the ones about comments. Okay, so first for design resources. I miss Pop Tropica. I did all the quests, but now I forgot my password. I hate it here, man. And I was a type of player na I just use the walkthroughs because I'm lazy like that. Okay, design resources here. Immediately just out in this left group. You can immediately tell this is all the categories they have. The main color of purple, mostly grays. Oh, and then depth also. The use of drop shadows here. So good, so good, so good. And even if they have like lots of colors, they don't really like clash that much because they're sparingly used. And compared to the tags, compared to the icons, like the example you saw earlier with the phone, the different tags, this is easily readable and it's easier on the eyes. So overall, this simplicity is just like a really nice interface. It makes you want to eat it. Joke lang. Whenever I like an interface, I say I want to eat it because of the colors. Glossier. Yeah. Asymmetrical balance here for this landing page because of the hero image or images we want to call it. Like, because Glossy is really popular for like being like connected with their community, with their like customers, because that's where they take like central focus here. Yeah, new wild. Just out also for the links. Oh wow, they even use that subtle like primary color to like get your attention. Like, oh, you should vote. That's how people been doing for COVID bars also. Like if you've been going to websites, they're like, oh, your resources for COVID. So yeah. And then roots here. Lines, lines. um, Symmetrical balance. Different, mostly grays. The colors, the photos, they dominate. Because of that, join our FB group. Very readable. Hierarchy in general. Yes, yes. Does anyone else have websites that I should be reading your answers to? Good. We all good. We all good. Yay. Thank you everyone for sharing your work. Wait, no, I'm trying to go to the presentation. Yes, yes. So now we did a website study. These are all my resources, but yeah, medyo nakakatamad, but the main resource I would recommend here is this book called Refactoring UI. It teaches like visual design to developers, but I think it's good for anyone who's beginning to explore visual design because they make something that seems like an art, more of a science. And yeah, it's so good. It helps my designs a lot. You can probably find the PDF online, or you can ask UX Stock if they have one. I'm sure people have this PDF. So yeah. All right. For Q&A, just go to our tiny URL UXDC workshop Q&A, then drop your questions there. Thank you, Andy, for the resources. You are a lifesaver. Yes, for free education. Event fasties. Can someone drop the link? Yeah, yeah. I will let the Fassi screen share the question. Cool. Yay. And yeah, I wonder how long it took you to create this library. I'm so grateful for this. Yes, everyone, go to the Q&A. And I will start answering. Last week, ooh, I'm opening now in my browser. And oh my, there's a lot na. I'm amazed. I can't wait to see more resources. Oh my gosh, it's a lot.
There's 11.
I will read definitive game. Thank you. Like, how do you start with the spacing of the elements, colors? Okay, go
You
ahead
can
and
start
ask
with the
me.
first question now.
All right.
What is your current design process? Like, do you start with the spacing of the elements, the colors, or the shapes, etc.?
Hmm. Design is really about communication first and foremost. So in my work, that's what I prioritize. Um, so in graphic design, that's what I usually start with. I lay out the information in black and white, doing stuff like hierarchy, like what's the most important information. Same with product design. Like I use puro grays, then I like different sections, so on and so forth. Mm. Um, Basically, generally like a flow for how the user is going to see the design. Then after that, that's when the specific stuff like colors and shapes like really go in. And for that, like what kind of particular UI I use, I really like go to different inspiration sites like Pinterest, Behance to see like what fits the most. Like for example, for the design challenge I did to apply for UX stocks, I was going to a lot of different source websites, and I initially just laid it out, but I had a mood board, and then the mood board showed like colorful accent colors, but it was mostly white. So yeah, to summarize, prioritize information first, then have the visuals supplement that. But again, information should always come first. Sorry.
Okay. So next will be resources to learn more about UX and UI design.
um, One of the websites pasted earlier was a good one. It was called Design Resource dot resource. Oh, did I type that right? I hope I typed that right. Yeah. Hmm. Pero kasi I mostly learn from mga design YouTubers because now like so many people are like talking about UX and UI, like AJ and Smart, Femke, and I think the best way to learn UX and UI is like study those really popular interfaces now, like Spotify or Google. Then you break down like what makes it good, so on and so forth. That's why I'm really glad for people who do case studies because they go in depth to their process and they're like, kaya pala why it's so good. The design. So yeah, and there's a lot in Medium too. The Medium design subculture there is really great. So yeah.
Okay, so next is what are your tips for following symmetry without forsaking unity?
Wait lang. Medyo mahirap. Hmm, Following symmetry without forsaking unity. Hmm. I think again it's like im for important to consider like the importance of an element in your work. Because honestly, I now because I'm exposed to so much visual design now, I mainly follow my intuition while designing. So if I put it like a picture and text next to each other, I'm like, oh, this is too much lines. I'll erase it, so on and so. for um I guess my main tip for this is that really study those again like popular websites. Then you see what works. Like what are the best practices too. Like that's why I put Slack there earlier because they were one good example of how they use asymmetry. Yeah. Sorry, but it doesn't add that much.
Okay, so I think the next two questions can be combined. So, what are your favorite websites that defy the principles of and rules of UI? And what websites are examples of bad UI?
Wait. Can I share screen for a while? Wait I will show like it was one intentionally bad example. So wait. What will dot edu. But the thing with like joke websites it's because they're not bad because they know how to break the rules, which is good. Yeah. This is the Yale School of Art website. As you can see, it's very not very usable. But that's intentional because it's a collaborative experiment now. See, my website is lagging because of how bad it is. Crazy. But they're still using some principles here, like with different groups and stuff. But my eyes hurt just looking at this. Yeah. Especially, I love this kind of websites because they're not afraid to be bad. Because most of it is so polished nowadays. We need more of that imperfection. Wait. Kylie Timpani's portfolio is so good too. Let me look for it. Because Kylie Timpani with the UX Talk speakers, she's building her website in public and like she's like give an F about how it looks. See, look, it's an ISO. It's not accessible at all, but it's so good. Like it really shows like personality as a designer. Designing and building this. I can't even read this properly. But yeah, as a designer, I encourage you all to experiment. Like, don't be afraid to like make bad websites. Because if you don't make bad websites, how can you make good, right? You need to make crap in order to make the good stuff. That's really how like creation works. Yes, Tumblr was also how I taught myself web design. I love Tumblr. I miss Tumblr. Thank you. Any more questions? Hello, JZ.
Next is, how do you innovate with UI?
I guess this can tie in to earlier. Like once you just start like bad websites or experimenting, that's when you have like you play around with the rules. I guess like the elements and principles. I think that's how you can discover like true innovation in your UI. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are your favorite resources, films, documentaries, or books on UI that you would recommend?
Aside from refactoring UI, I'm not done with this, but I'm highly recommending the design of everyday things. It's not cool. Yeah, but because this book, even though it's a bit really dense, it really delves into like the psychology and like the functional part of design. Because if it's not useful, then it's not a good design. That's how this. That's what this book tells you. Aside from that, for documentary naman, in abstract Netflix, they have this thing called Abstract. Go the episode about the digital product designer. He designed for FP. Then he explained his process of the Instagram brand. Because the initially people were like, "Boo, it's so ugly," but like yeah, eventually like people realized like, oh, it's really a good design. So yeah, I was like, it really taught me of like the importance of like following your gut for that. Because if you mainly base your design process on what other people say, like, are you really a designer? Do you have your own voice? You need to be have conviction. Mm-hmm. Program for designing UI. I use Figma, like earlier. Puro Figma lang. Figma Mastery.
Someone is also asking for more examples on just thought icons.
Can you go to the activity page of the Figma? Because there are a lot of good examples of that there. Mm-hmm. Oh no. So again, reminder that like Jeff is basically like how we see things in groups. Diba? So when you already group something, like group stuff together, you can use the Gestalt principle. Like you see my Figma icons here though. Like because they're close to each other, you already see them as a group. These Zoom icons too, if you can see them in your interface. They're grouped together, you already see them as one group. Yeah. So again, just think of Gestalt as groups, then you'll see that that's how icons like work together. Cool.
So someone is also asking about who are your favorite UI designers?
Oh my gosh, this is a wait. I'm this the thing is about unlike art kasi people like don't usually put like the name of the designer sa baba. Wait lang. I can't think of any at the moment. I'll get back to you. I'm looking for my website compilation link right now. Next question.
Um, Tips for will learning how to code help me become a better UX UI designer?
For me, it will, cause sometimes we forget that like the ones developing the website are also kind of our stakeholders. If you don't consider the development side of the process, you might make like unreal or unfeasible design that really sucks. You know, like help help yourself help them by like being empathetic in their process. So yeah, it helped me learn design because having a background of like teaching myself how to do HTML, CSS made me catch up easily because they use stuff like the box model, for example. If you're teaching yourself Webflow, there's a tutorial on the box model because of how important it is. So yeah. Also, I sent my compilation of designers that I find cool in the Zoom chat.
Okay, so next is tips for people new to UI. How do you suggest we start, or what should we study first?
So again, if you're a beginner, your main goal is to build up a conceptual library, just like an artist. Because the more you parang consume as a designer, like the more you can create, like the more references you have. So my suggestion is like start to compile all those websites you find nice and then like really analyze them. That way you parang make your own education of design and art. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, we will be sharing the recording of this workshop, and yeah, I guess also the slides then.
Like if you already have the Figma link, the bit.ly.uxui, then you already have my slide because it's in another page. Naka Figma lang.
Tips for people new to UI without a lot of background in design or art.
I think I answered this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do existing case studies, or try ideating our own? What do you suggest for noobs? Yes.
Oh, like parang existing products. Hmm. If you're like super beginner talaga, wait, I feel 50-50 on this. Because to be honest, like the design, like publication space, especially Medium, it's so saturated. Like everyone's redesigning Facebook or Spotify, and you don't want to be like one of many. Diba? So I really highly recommend doing your own case study. But if you're just doing it for learning's sake, like you're just trying to like become a better designer, maybe it's good to start like analyzing existing products. Pero kung pang portfolio mo yun, please do your own. Try to do your own. Yeah.
Okay. So what are other UI topics we should read about?
Hmm. Wait. UI. Um, I'm still in the process of learning this, but I'm highly interested in motion design. There's like a separate like science into how like people like do motion in products. Whether it's like the web flow transitions you see or so on and so forth. Because it's like a fine line to balance it. Like if you put too much motion, it's too distracting. But if you put too little, the user is like, that work. So yeah, I highly encourage looking up into motion.
Okay, so would someone have refactoring UI as a PDF file by any chance?
Um, I will look in my library, ha. Kung I think I do, but it'll be hard to sa to upload it pa. I will let you know. Where can
Okay, I think this is the last question na. So you just made a good point though about the heavy saturation of reimagining. And what do you think about Frankensteining designs? Like determinants if it's worth it.
wait. Can you expound on Frankensteining? I saw an article on this, but I got too lazy to read. So I forgot the definition of Frankenstein. Is it like parang getting different parts of a in different places and bring them together? What does Frankensteining mean? I'm gonna Google it. Give me a moment. Design. What does Frankenstein design mean? Sorry. Working today. My brain not working today. Ah, okay, okay. This um for Frankenstein in design, I think you really have to keep your main goal in mind. Like, what's the main purpose of this product? Am I trying to inform the user? Am I trying to promote a product? Because if you just like get different parts of what you think is cool, the meaning will be lost. You need to balance that fine line. Mhm. Remember, design's all about communication. Okay, so if you don't do that, then it's not a good design. Okay, that's what makes you know if it's worth it. That's camping signing. Any more questions? By the way, if you can't find the PDF, I think they have a website naman, refactoring UI. And it's very like It teaches a lot. That's what I use for my slides there. So yeah, it's cool. Mhm. That all. I think that's all the Q&A. I hope
Okay.
everyone was able to learn. I will share screen. Wait lang. Um, all right. So again, thank you everyone for coming. But before you go, please answer the evaluation. So I know how to improve, and the org, especially like the event classes, know how to also. So we can help make the workshops a better experience. Yay. Thank you for coming, everyone. Again, don't forget to answer evaluation. Please help us make a better design, workshop design. And make sure to go to the dev workshop this week, intro to Agile. Am I correct? I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to learn more about dev. Thank you, everyone. Hello. Is anyone there? I just like to say thank you again because we got so many participants, and I'm so happy because I thought I wasn't new at this, but I'm glad that you all got to enjoy. Mhm. I guess before we end, I hope again, please answer the evaluation form. Let's have a picture. Yeah, don't leave yet. Don't leave. Let's commemorate this moment. Events, help, please. Wait, let me stop for the picture. Everyone, turn your cam on. Yay. Don't be shy. Ha- So happy. Julie, just let us know when like we're all good.
Okay, okay. So I'll give you guys 10 seconds to, if you guys can, on your camera. And yeah,
Hmm.
3, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so smile lang and freeze for mga 5 seconds. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, everyone. Again, don't forget to answer evaluation. Have a good night. Do your schoolwork. Rest well. Bye.